Gigliotti. Sydney FC are coached by Jim Van Weren. Match officials this evening. In the centre we have Katie Patterson. Her assistants are M. McCorris and Pete Telecki, and the fourth official is H. Fenton White.
And we're streaming.
It's always good.
We're due to start in just jump 3.5 minutes. Does that sound right? Oh, yeah, that's about right.
Good evening and welcome to Lambert Park for your Saturday evening NPL New South Wales men's first football. Tonight between Sydney FC and Sutherland Sharks. To start off with a slightly sour note, unfortunately, finals football no longer possible for these sides. 10th versus 11th. For Sutherland, particularly, that might seem like a missed opportunity. On paper, their roster up there with the best. Sydney FC They'll just be happy to be in here for another dig. So many youth, so many changes throughout the season. Tonight, a real reflection of that. It was only on Tuesday evening some of these boys were lining up against Paris Saint-Germain. Quite difficult to believe. Lads like Van der Sarg, Teague and Swibble back here tonight. They've faced Cavani, they've faced Mbappe. Now it's time for the likes of Skitadis and Lokalingoi. Head coach Jim Van Wieren happy to continue to give these youth a chance. Quite a few of the juniors getting a start, even more off the bench. We will run you through those lineups very shortly. Just waiting for kickoff to get underway. Our official Katie Patterson does so. As we run through now, Van Mewers, Skibilio, Van der Sarg, Lamberton, Nieuwenhof, Swibble, Teague, Banani, Talbot, Coop, and Scarley. For the Sharks, Bizanis, Cheng, O'Shea, Antonio, Polyak, Cox, Benet, Brown, Lokalingoi, Eshan, and Skitadis. As the ball goes out of play. While some members of the Sydney FC side have returned to retain or even get a place, unfortunately, the trip wasn't so good for Thomas Heward-Bell. It's one of quite a few who picked up a virus right before that game against PSG. He's not quite fit enough to recover for this one. O'Shea. All the way back to Bizanis. Lovely flick header. Skitadis on this right-hand side. Happy to feed essentially. First time fast finds Benet. Oh, he likes to run. Happy to lay it off to Antonio on the left. Bay Antonio against his former side of sorts. Unfortunately for him, takes that out of play. Good contest won by Ershant. Returning Brown. Coming forward with intent. Ball coming back now. Good to have Brown and Skitadis back playing NPL football. Blair Brown just with a look over the shoulder at me. Yes, lad, good to have you back. This is him. Marauding forward, plays it inside to Benet. Spreads it to Quinton Cheng, the right back. He receives it back. Sydney happy to drop nice and deep without the football. Back to Polyak. Sutherland will attempt to recycle it once more. Sydney FC, as they have done for the majority of this season, with that rigid 4-4-2 shape. Aim in defence is to not give too much space in between the lines, between their back four and midfield four. Get it up to the likes of Swibble and Lamberton. Even at such a young age, showing a lot of promise. Lokalingoi chasing this one down, putting the young keeper under pressure. Scarley gets away with it. The old take it outside the box. If you don't like your delivery, referee will call that for you. You can say without finals football, what's the aim? Apart from the obvious one in pride. Some valuable minutes for these young players. Look at particularly Sydney FC. Dribble up the line, doesn't go anywhere. Skibilio, then Teague, playing it out to the left-hand side. Ball over the top, looking for Swibble. Never getting to that one. Out of play on the far side by Van Meers, coming across. Well, they might be young. Sydney FC managed to make things very interesting last week. Back here for Apia. Home game for them, more so than for Sydney FC. Really, the Sky Blues could have won it. Found themselves down 2-1. As this shot comes in, Scully does well to get it away. Zhang sliding in brilliantly, keeps it in play. Can't do so at the third attempt. Sydney certainly had their chances against Apia last week. Was left to a penalty in stoppage time to secure the draw. Sutherland, with their last chance to try and make the finals places, fell at home 2-4 to a Mount Druitt side finishing the season extremely strongly. Rail Benet penalty towards the end of that game, making the scoreline respectable for all intents and purposes. That is the season done. They can start to look to the next. As we mentioned earlier, use these games to get some minutes in the youngsters. Perhaps Sydney FC have at least one more surprise to come. Teague. Neuenhoff has a look up, doesn't like what he sees. Amazing, really, to see the composure in these young Sky Blues. When to hold on to it, when to release it, when to make the switch. Teague does so here to the far side. Lovely first touch. Kept in play, Coop. Teague second to the ball. Good pressure by Skatatis. Then from Cheng, who's come in field. This is Benet. Lovely footwork. There's the triangle. Plenty of space on the left-hand side for Antonio. Stretches for it, gets a toe to it. Very well done. Happy just to loft it towards the back post. Lockerlingoy. Caught away by Scully and eventually away by Teague. Down the line to O'Shea. That'll be nice and comfortable. Cheng, not a lot forward, happy to go back and across. Few moments of pressure for the young Sydney FC keeper. To his credit, he's clawed it away on the few attempts so far. Only 16 years of age. Brilliant to see him getting his opportunity in first grade. Neuenhoff. Looks like he's playing in a central midfield role alongside Teague, only 17 years of age. A lot more where that comes from. Antonio. Wanting to take on his man, takes a strike on, and there he is again. Scarlett keeping the Sharks at bay so far. Taken short to Benet. Towards that back stick, well defended. Lovely turn. Erkin out to this left. Benet, who's been involved early. Will want it on his right foot. He's met with two. Once again, Sydney getting numbers to the football. Able to shift across. Question for Sutherland is, can they move it to the far side? Before the defence can set, they'll come across to the left. Brown calling for it, gets it. Wants the 1-2, receives it. Lovely touch into space. Ball into the area, the shot on goal. Through the near post, Jeremy Cox finds the gap. Young Scarlett can do nothing about it. That was incisive from the Sharks. They take the early lead here at Lambert Park.
Goal for Sutherland Sharks FC scored by number 9, Jeremy Cox. Sutherland Sharks FC 1, Leeds Sydney FC 0.
Never nice for a goalkeeper to concede at their near post. Can see what Matteo Scarlett was thinking. Get down low across the face. All the experience of Jeremy Cox shown in that finish. Saw the gap at the near post, and this one's coughed up by Teague. Lokalingoi fends off the man. Tries to play it across to Benet. After a positive start, already one or two cracks in this Sydney defence. You look particularly at the height disparity between the two teams. Lokalingoi towering above anyone in his vicinity. Ball played out to Brown again. Lovely touch inside. Hasn't missed a beat, Blair Brown. His ball down the line, races away from Antonio. Surefire way to misplace a pass. Just have the commentator call you out for some good work. It was his early run. Little 1-2 to release Cox, who finished unerringly. And yet, when the Sydney side have found themselves down or behind in a contest, think about the last 2 weeks, they've found a way back into it. Talbot down the left. Chang in his face, defends well. Can't win the throw. Plenty of space on this right-hand side. Skibilio has 2 to beat. Can't beat the first man. Sharks start their counter-attack. Antonio racing away. Antonio still going. Looking to roll it towards Lokalingoi. That's a good contest. Bernani happy to give him a bit of a shove. That's what these young players need to do. Not show any intimidation whatsoever. Try and make this evening as uncomfortable as possible. Benet leaping away. Wants the shot. It's quite tame, straight at the keeper. Coop having a look around. Happy to play it back. Just like the Sharks, Sydney will keep trying to move it from side to side. No real spaces in between the lines. Not much else they can really do. Those wide midfielders looking to cut in when they approach their attacking area. Skibilio wanting to take on Antonio, just plays it inside. Lovely first touch. Nieuwenhof to get away. Van der Sarg. What a week he's had. Lovely diagonal ball into the area. Believe that's an attempted cross. Well over the crossbar. Goal kick. First touch again. Blair Brown, exceptional. Back we go to Buzanis. Straight onto the head of Cheng. No one reading his header inside. Good footwork. Started with Van Meurs. Teague has a little tug on his jersey from Jerry Skitadis. Space again on the right. Skibilio. Happy to play it down the line. Lamberton trying to win the battle with O'Shea. O'Shea using all his strength and wins the throw for his side. Well done, son. Can Sutherland get it right this time? Combination from the throw-in. Cross to Ershant. Out to the right back, Chang. Skitadis, aware of the danger, happy to come back. Because immediately, Sydney FC right into position. Bazanis under a little bit of pressure, senses the danger. O'Shea towards Lokalingoi. Instead finds Antonio. Lokalingoi just takes it off his teammate. Antonio having a bit of a laugh now. Brown with the throw in towards towering presence of Lokalingoi. Holds it up before making his run. Space for Chiang. Shapes to wind up. Then dummies it wide. Plays it wide. Cox not on the same page. Teague again. Really found his passing range. How many times already have we seen this? Big switch to Skibilio. Van der Sarg trying to link up, unable to do so. Well brought down. Nieuwenhof. A lot of composure in this young man. Rolls it into the feet. The ball around the corner looking for Lamberton. And then the chip goes onto the crossbar. Most unfortunate. Ben Coop was there for the scraps after the fumble. Bounces kindly off the crossbar. Straight into the grateful arms of Bazanis. Credit to Benjamin Coop. Was there, alert, ready. Had the composure to attempt the chip, but unfortunately for him, slightly heavy. As was mentioned earlier, you can never discount this Sydney FC side. Winning football in this club's DNA. Doesn't matter what level. Antonio, excellent work to win the throw. Right underneath my nose. Professionalism from Skibilio. Mateo Polyak. I'm sure would love to step it up against the Sky Blues. All the way back to Bizanis. Ashan forward. Polyak first time, fans Antonio. Brown on the overlap. Antonio doesn't want to use him, instead goes inside, back to Polyak. Polyak to Skatatis. Good challenge, good strength shown. Benjamin Coop had that earlier chance, winning the foul for his side. Ryan Teague starts off the play for the Sky Blues. Bit of space opening up. Lamberton on the left. Always rising. Decent effort. Foot or so above the crossbar. Can't give that young man any space. Interesting goal kick. Not a lot of distance. Sean happy just to punt it away. Antonio lurking underneath it. Good body positioning. Skibilio wins the free kick. Long ball again, searching for Skibilio. He gives up on it. Bizanis reading it well enough. His touch a little ungainly. He'll just be happy to be back out there. Very difficult season for Sutherland in terms of injuries, particularly in the goalkeeper department. Once again, it's a Sydney FC player positioning themselves, trying to win the ball. Can't get complacent, can the Sharks? Particularly since that goal really seems to have stirred them up. A bit more physicality being shown. Van der Sarg down the line. Taking it out of play. Ball finds Teague, who chests it down. Gets a shove in the back from Lokalingoi. Probably the most obvious foul of the evening so far. Teague wants to take it quickly. Ball into the area. Doesn't get past the first man. Polyak station well. Sharks will try and counter. Lokalingoi gets past his man. Runners on the left and the right. Benet, a touch inside the area. Good defending. Wins the goal kick as well. Extremely well done under pressure. Really has been up and down this right-hand side, Skibilio. Often the outlet of attack. In the first half, he was back there to make that challenge on Benet. Pressure now from the Sharks, pressing as a unit. Sydney still want to play it out from the back. It's going to go across the face. Just over the head of Cox. Credit to Sydney, sticking to their guns. Trying to play attractive football. Always that element of danger, particularly in your own penalty area. Yes, so this one's aimed towards Skibilio. Too much to do this time. He immediately starts charging back Antonio. Seen his pace. This time he decides against it. Brown sending this long. Lokalingo had come back for the short pass. Lovely turn. Neuenhoff. Class being shown. His delivery not quite on target. Lokalingo advises against chasing this one. Opportunity for a rare breather perhaps. Really has been down this right-hand side, or near side. Sydney have found most of their joy. Patrick Skibilio with endless overlapping running. That numerical advantage resulting in space. Unfortunately for the Sky Blues, finish not able to be found. Benjamin Coop with the best opportunity. His chip hitting the crossbar. Lamberton as well with a strike. It is the 11th minute goal to Cox after some good build-up by Antonio as the away side in the ascendancy. His time. Even Skibilio not quick enough to get on the end of the pass. Sydney driving forward. The shot on goal is low. Bazanis gets down. Rebound can't be tapped in, and then the shot blazes over. Coop unleashing. Van der Saga was venturing forward the first time. No one coming to him. Plenty of space in that attacking mid area for Sydney FC. Bazanis equal to it. Cross swung in. Bazanis again, positioned well. Certainly danger signs. Sydney again coming back well. Teague helping out. Can they keep it up over the 90 minutes? But as mentioned previously, since that goal, it's actually been Sydney who have looked the better side, stirred them into life. Sharks know they've got a game on now. Lovely footwork. Benet wanting it back. Doesn't get it. Skitadis out wide to Antonio. Wants it on his left. Across the face. Fizzes it. Well stationed defence once more. Lamberton reads that extremely well. Happy to play it down. Vendesag again, missing out. Lokalingoi. Cox first time, Benet first time. Sharks teammates certainly know where one another are. This will be Cheng. Plenty of time to measure the cross. The flick from Cox. Straight back to him. Not sure if that's hit his own player or hit a post. Dancing around in there. Everyone a bit bemused that it hasn't somehow gone in. This is O'Shea. Cox, the goal scorer. Almost out a second there. Bolyak has seen the run. Jeremy Cox again, always a willing runner. Pass a little heavy. Haven't mentioned Benani's name too much just tonight, but Paolo Benani quite often been that man stationed to block out the attempted cross. So we see a lovely touch, Antonio. He'll get it back here from Skatatis. Ball inside to Lokalingoi. Gets the faintest of touches on it. Not enough to direct it goalward. Matteo Scali. Always a difficult one as a goalkeeper. Do you come out and try and claim it, leaving yourself exposed? Do you wait for the touch? Thankfully for him, didn't have to deal with it in the end. The Sharks on the counter-attack. Looking very dangerous. Teague sends this one long for Hamish Lamberton. Teague again, ball inside. Well read Urshan. And the stud's coming up. Some will ask for a yellow card. Skatatis with the follow-through. Katie Patterson wisely suggesting we don't see any more of that this evening. Once again, Neuenhoff just seems to know where everyone is on the field. Tell me that one brilliantly. Benani across to Van Meurs. Finds Teague. Trying to find feet of Swivel, who's been under pressure all evening. Once again, there's space for Scabilio. Back on the inside, trying to play it across. Maybe one too many touches. Coop could potentially have turned and run into the area himself, decided against it. Just because it's unselfish doesn't always mean it works. Lovely 1-2. And yet, well broken down. Lamberton doing all the hard work. Couldn't find the pass as this one squeezes through Lokalingoi. Scully comes out. Lovely touch on the ball. A few claiming a penalty, but clearly Matteo Scully getting his touch out of the feet of the oncoming Lokalingoi. Well kept, young man. "16 years of age, playing first grade National Premier League's New South Wales men's football. Incredible. Obviously need confidence in every position, but particularly as a goalkeeper. You really can't second guess yourself. May have let one in near post, but other than that, done his job. Cheng into Cox. Back to Skatatis. Blair Brown. Once again, that defence of Sydney well set. Not a lot of space to work with. Antonio just wants to run past everyone. He's crossed into the area. Not for anyone in particular. Skatatis cleverly out to the right-hand side. Delivery across the face, looking for Benet. Van Mewer's well stationed. Through the legs to get this one underway. Mentioned the confidence of the youngsters of Sydney FC. They continue to play it out from the back. Scully, again under pressure, happy to wait for the bounce, and finds a teammate. They simply refuse to be flustered, regardless of the pressure applied. Skibilio baits the line, runs inside. Now he does go wide. First touch from Coop. Finds him wanting. Into the face of young Neuenhoff. Once again, managing to skip past the defender. Absolutely natural on the ball. Plays it out to the left-hand side. Still surging forward. Ball back across the face. On the edge of the area on the half volley. Benjamin Coop. Rising up and over the crossbar. Van Mewer's doing well under pressure. At times, Lokalingwe has looked a little isolated. Antonio on the left, Cox on the right. Some feel Lokalingwe working best when he has another striker, at least centre forward there to support him. Van der Sarg, we saw doing extremely well in an unfamiliar position against the likes of Kylian Mbappe. Certainly let the Frenchman know he was there to play. Lovely flicker around the corner. Van der Sarg. Experiences like that, really, you just can't buy, and indeed can't find in Australia anywhere, NPL, A-League or beyond. Wonderful to pause and think about how far we've come. Having these high-profile friendlies. Great exposure for clubs. Great time for young footballers. Lokalingwe, he just wants to go past his man. He's got a player in the middle. Really, the first time pass needed to come out. Antonio it was. In acres of space, Lokalingwe wanted to go himself. Banani, I believe it was. Exceptional strength to hold him off. In the meantime, there's been a free kick given. Brief discussion over who will take this free kick. Bay Antonio, unsurprisingly, on this left-hand side. Looked to swing it right onto the head of one of his taller teammates. Delivery, decent. Flick header. What a save! Matteo Scali. Rising up, using his right hand to push it over the crossbar. Absolutely brilliant from the 16-year-old. Corner to the edge of the area. Benet takes a touch inside. Once again, guess who's there? Lovely little worked move from the Sharks. They've had their opportunities as we get towards the end of the first half. Yet to take a second. Cox with a strike! A fearsome strike from Jeremy Cox. That'll be his second of the evening. Bounced up kindly with the touch, and he made no mistake. An emphatic finish, belting it past Matteo Scali to make it 2-0 to the Sharks. Some call 2-0 the most dangerous scoreline in football. Don't think it'll feel that way to the Sharks right now. Really holding on to that 1-0 lead at stages. Sydney FC mustering a few attempts with that second. May well be able to relax. Try and find their feet. Teague makes that interception for its one straight back. Skitadis wants it back from Antonio, finds it. Tries to take it away. There's no joy to be found out there. Throw inside to Benet. Physicality again coming out, and then the footwork. Benet's going to come back for seconds. Gotten away nicely. Harry van der Sarg. Maybe showing a trick or two. He's picked up. Patrick O'Shea, happy to go across. Mershan. Some late contact on him. Maybe just a little bit of frustration coming out from Sydney FC. Can use it two ways. Use it to motivate you, get that motor running, find the press, or maybe start to lash out. Ball inside, was looking for Lokalingoi. Good shout from the young goalkeeper. Happy to have a chat and issue some commands as well to his teammates. His goal kick. Curling away. Van der Sarg with a little look over towards his keeper. Little reminder from Katie Patterson not to waste any time. No doubt the Sharks would love just to slow things down before the half. Can the Sky Blues find their way back into it? Brown, lovely footwork to get away from Van der Sarg. Pass inside, not quite so good. He'll get another attempt. Possession recovered. Drills it to Polyak, who's got two to beat. Happy just to touch it around the corner to himself. Header inside. Cox to Skitadis. Back to Chang. Matteo Polyak wants the big diagonal. Lovely. Antonio first time now. Benet. There's a little bit of space for him. Happy to keep playing it wide. Quinton Chang. Well closed down. Ben Coop getting back to do his defensive work. maybe, just maybe, a chance for the Sharks to add a third before half-time. Swung in. Lokalingoi rising at the back stick. Finds the gap, finds the goal, and indeed, that is the third for the Sutherland Sharks. As we tick on into stoppage time, this one already might be done and dusted.
Sutherland Sharks FC 3, Leeds Sydney FC 0.
Had mentioned the height mismatch, if you will, just comes with the age of these players. A lot more growing for these lads still to do in sky blue. There's not much you can do about that type of disparity at this level. They'll keep trying to play it along the ground. But really, for Swibble, for Lamberton, there's just not been a lot of football headed their way. A lot of hard work done by the defenders and midfielders.
That's our time, ladies and gentlemen. And at half-time, Sutherland Sharks.
And the storyline, and no doubt the half-time team talks, really have changed with that third goal coming courtesy of Charles Lokalingoi. Earlier, a double by Jeremy Cox. One in the 11th, one in the 41st. And then again, the heartbreaker right before half-time by Sutherland's tall number 14. Means at the half, it's Sydney FC 0, Sutherland Sharks 3.
And the official ball sponsor of the 2019 NPL New South Wales men's competitions, Micah. Their support for football is invaluable and much appreciated.
The stats.
Reminder that spectators must comply with the Hyundai A-League terms of admission and the venue's conditions of entry, including provisions relating to security screening and intoxication. Any spectator identified with a prohibited item or assessed as unduly intoxicated may be refused entry, evicted from the stadium, or handed over to police for further questioning. The lighting of flares, fireworks, smoke bombs, or incendiary devices inside or outside the venue is a safety risk to other spectators and will not be tolerated. Any person identified engaging in such activity will be handed over to police for further questioning.
You can smell it. How big is he? He's Congolese. Yeah, he's Congolese. It's not a Congolese or
Welcome back to the second half of this NPL New South Wales first clash. Is the travelling Sutherland Sharks with a dominant, commanding 3-0 lead over Sydney FC. Early offside against Lokalingoi. Ball over the top, looking for Cox. Cox still going. Bravery shown by young Matteo Scali. Makes a crushing save. Worryingly for the Sharks, Cox has stayed down. Eventful start to this second half. Cox racing through on goal. Defenders not quite doing enough, leaving it to young Scali. He's made the save, but in the afters, collected Jeremy Cox, who looks to be in some discomfort. Thankfully, he's back to his feet. Admittedly, very gingerly. Trying to see if a substitute is being prepared. Can only imagine so. Big blow for the young man and for his side. He is, of course, the man who scored. Start off proceedings. Got his double on the 41st minute. In the meantime, the Sharks will play with 10. Cox continues to be assessed. Sydney on the counter-attack. Trying to launch down the left. Cheng Sing it all the way.
Substitution for Sutherland Sharks FC. Number 9, Jeremy Cox, replaced by number 32, Alexander Lopez.
As you may have heard from the ground announcer, that is unfortunately the end of Jeremy Cox's night. Alex Lopez replacing him Sincerely wish a speedy recovery for Jeremy. Little inside ball. Benjamin Coop. A flick comes out. Cheng reading it best. We all know the Sharks like a counter-attack. Fancy footwork down the line. Beats the first two before eventually being taken out by Teague. Bazanis spreading it nicely to Brown at left back. Back to Polyak. Can definitely see the intent in the press from the Sydney FC players. Forces the long ball. Great win in the air. One of the few that Sydney have had tonight. Challenge coming in. Neuenhoff running it well. Cheng now has two to beat. Neuenhoff still going. He's inside the area. Well stationed. Ershant. Now Lokalingoi. Burst past Teague. Lokalingoi still going. He's going to need some support though. Teague. Good touch to get it away from his feet. Second one takes it out of play for a throw in. Cheng winning the contest. Keeps wanting to play it forward. There's only sky blue shirts. Eventually, back inside, Polyak. Touch with the outside of the right. Spreads it. Benet, one touch, two. The strike is blocked. Always looked like he was going to take it on. Bazanis outside his area, but did retreat inside before handling the ball. Certainly nothing about the Sky Blues build-up or shape suggests they're going to try and just keep it to 3-0. They want to get back into this game, but for now it's Lokalingoi. Threw it on goal. Wonderful save, Scully. Gets down at the last moment to shut the gate between the legs. Lokalingoi had the pace, his touch and run taking him slightly wide. Shot from the acute angle coming. Teague again looking for Lamberton. Ashan in charge. Here's Quinton Chang. Tries to take on two. Tackle comes in. Talbot and now Teague. Little tug back from Skatatis. The card immediately coming out of the pocket. Sutherland have had somewhere near double figures for their foul count this evening. Skatatis with a few. Anytime there's a jersey tug when the team is attacking, you will often see a yellow card produced. Gaddy Patterson making clear it's not on this evening. Van Meurs. Well closed down by that man Skatatis. So substitutes now start being readied up for Sydney FC. Young Fletcher McFarlane looking to make an impact. Manager Van Wieren made very clear he has full faith in his young players.
Substitution for Sydney FC, number 17, Callum Talbot.
Talbot, the man to make way. Often see him at right back, forced to play left back this evening. Fletcher McFarlane, like for like replacement. Locke forces the turnover. Open Bashes ahead of him. He shapes up to curl it. Never comes back. Wide of that far post. If I'm not mistaken, may well be Sutherland Sharks' first shot off target tonight. And absolutely lethal. Really making Scally work for everything. Teague's touch a little heavy. Bolyak happy to tidy up and send it back. Gershon forward. Finds Benet. Out to Chang. Benet asking for Brown to make the run. He drilled that pass. Blair Brown, if he was expecting it, wasn't expecting it 15 metres out in front. Lovely drill pass forward. Swivel. Ambitious, to say the least. Trying to make a man swivel, putting the pressure on Bazanis, who's seen it all before. Brown asking a lot of Antonio. Composed, playing it out from the back from Scully. How on earth can the young fella be that nerveless? His NPL debut. Teague again. Really can find a long range pass. He's been spraying them all evening. Where will we be seeing some of these Sky Blues in 2, 3, 5 years' time? Talent at an early age, incredible. Antonio across the face. Once again, Benani really knows where to position himself when the ball goes into a wide area. Happy to step out, leave a bit of space around the penalty spot. Get himself in the way. Does, however, increase Sutherland's corner tally, and once again they take it short. Out to Antonio, head down over the ball. Straight into Banani. Lovely feet, Benet. Unfortunately for him. Offside given. Sydney, once again, they want to try and get things underway nice and quickly. Can you blame them? Sutherland just the 1 point above them in the table. Obviously a win means they can't progress any further. And 3 behind Mount Druitt. You do fancy the Rangers to get at least a point from their remaining 2 fixtures, given their form particularly. So they're going to need to try and pull these 3 goals back, keep Sutherland within grasp if they have any ambition, getting into 10th place. Sliding in magnificently is Chang. Read that so early, timed it to perfection. He also wants it back in a bit of space on the right. Polyak taking his time, eventually tries to get it there, scoops it up. There we go. Chang, dink ball over the top. Finds Lopez, big up and under. Scali elects to punch under limited pressure, but always said as a goalkeeper, as long as you get it away, no one will remember how you got it there. They will remember if you go up for the chest mark and put it down in front of your own goal. Oh, footwork and then through the legs. Doesn't really go anywhere though. Lokalingoi ahead of his man. Now faces up at the defenders. There's 3 in front of him. Happy to go out to Quinton Chang. O'Shea inviting the pressure. Find Raul Benet. Skitadis under pressure, loses the ball. Lamberton, quite a heavy touch. Ershan, as cool as you like. Trying to find Lopez, bit in behind him. Coming together. Antonio thought he'd won the throw. Made the successful challenge, nothing more. Skibilio a little quieter so far, at least in the second half, than we saw in the first. Still 30 minutes of regular time to play. As long as Sydney FC can find the next one. They are still a sniff, but 4 you feel would be just too many. Skitadis again losing out. Wonder if his yellow card has really gotten to his mind. Meanwhile, driving forward just for a moment was Coop, and then it's absolutely pumped up the other end by O'Shea. This is first game back, and yet since that yellow card, Skitadis a little tentative. Not just for making challenges, but also his touch on the ball. Benet's drifted out to the left to find some space. Happy to play it to Polyak. Now it is Jerry Skitadis. Chang ignored the overlapping run. Polyak, Lokalingoi. Dropping deep again to receive it. Tries to squeeze the pass out to Chang. Can't do so. Sydney, though, unable on this rare occasion not to play it out from the back. They really have maintained the original game plan. They set out from the start. 1 or 2 causes for alarm, but otherwise sticking to their guns. Paolo Bernardi coming out to clear the danger. Despite the 3-0 scoreline, certainly wouldn't be sounding out any of these Sydney FC individuals for a poor performance. And giving it their all. Some smart football. Just lacking a finish and maybe a bit of physicality in defence. Lamberton and Ershan coming together. Ershan offering the hand up. Hamish not having any of it. He comes back and pushes Darrett immediately. Maybe one to watch if the ball goes up this end. And here we are. This is the duel. Lamberton faces up. Had his head down. Knew where his teammates were roughly, but didn't quite have the vision to find them. Quinton Chang cuts inside cheekily. take it away from Coop. Now Polyak wants the big diagonal. Flag does stay down, but Antonio's first touch, not quite what was required. The Sharks, of course, still feeling the loss of Captain Fantastic Mark Warren, Jordan Moffitas. Skatatis, as mentioned on a few occasions back, and Blair Brown had a particularly encouraging start. This is number 22 for the Sharks. Lovely ball inside. He wanted it back. Chen goes wider still to Lokalingoi. Comfortable finish across the face. Scully, after being beaten at the near post earlier in the game, protects that area well. The experienced Lokalingoi placing it calmly to his left. Scully's right, and that makes it 4-0 to the Sutherland Sharks. That may well be a grand opportunity to make some changes for the Sharks.
Number 12, Blair Brown, being replaced by number 25, Brody Clarkson.
Blair Brown, maybe just finding his match fitness, will be coming off. Brody Clarkson, man coming onto the pitch. What now then for the remainder of this clash? We've seen some incredible things this season in the NPL. Antonio looking for the cutback. Perhaps a little lazy the first effort. Second one read well by the defence. It really could be even more one-sided. Do the Sharks want it? Are they up for it? Nothing else. Keep adding some goals to their tally with that fourth. They've now got their goal difference overall this season back level. And for a team that have lost their last three, only scored 2 goals. Gone and scored 4 so far tonight. Cheng, absolutely brilliant. Poor Geordie Swibbles had a difficult evening, not a lot of service. Now the nutmeg. Regardless of the end result here, Sydney FC can be happy for the experience. Teague, a little dink ball, looking for Lamberton. Really nothing to lose anymore. Opportunity for the youngsters to maybe produce a magic moment or two. Lamberton again trying to pass across the face. It does eventually fall. Unfortunately, Ben Coop unable to fire the shot off. Tricky one for Matteo Scully to talk about with his mates after the game. Come back to that in a moment. Lamberton again unable to find the feet of a teammate. Ewenhoff shaping up for it. Doesn't come to anything. Rushing forward, Van Meurs leaving a gap at the back. Well spread to this right-hand side where Teague is. First time ball. Back to Van der Sarg. Back out to Teague. Teague. Lovely looking delivery. Cheng's there to fill the gap. And Benet's brought down a little crudely. Back on 16-year-old, number 30 for Sydney FC, Matteo Scali. Now had 4 go past him, and yet you'd say he's had a pretty decent evening. Plenty of saves for his personal highlight reel. Maybe absolute maximum of 2 of the goals he could have done something about, but that's being rather critical. Lokalingoi, touch around the corner. Skitatis to Lopez. He's being pretty quiet from coming on, and then not sure if that's ball to hand or the other way around. Either way, momentum completely stifled. And then he just comes back and throws his man to ground. Lopez getting a bit of a yell now as well. Fouls really racking up for the Sharks too. They've been happy just to use their physicality to their advantage. Sometimes crossing the line. Hamish Lamberton clearly offside. It really has been a professional performance from the Sharks. Got their 1-0 lead, courtesy of Jeremy Cox, who sadly since has gone off injured. Then after a few Sydney FC opportunities, the Sharks really started to lay it on. Bazanis' delivery in the anywhere will do category. Ball coughed up, Antonio. Trying to play it to himself down the line. Can only hit it into that side netting. Side fencing, rather. Skitatis, once again, wants to play it wide. Lopez. Happy just to play it back. Benet. These two playing a bit of keep ball. Triangles coming out. Eventually, Benet will get it back and drive towards that space. Sydney defence set. Every man back behind the halfway line, and indeed, at one moment, within about 30 metres of the football. They do affect the turnover. Lamberton wants the ball over the top. O'Shea knew exactly what was coming. Newenhoff judged to have fouled. Skitatis going for the football. Perhaps a little too ambitiously. Shan just in behind Chang a little. Plenty of space to play that pass into. Just underhit it slightly. Guess at 4-0 you can afford a mistake or two like that, but knowing the manager, Terry Palapanis, no mistake is ever a good mistake. This one coming forward is searching for the new man, Fletcher McFarlane. Here's chase in vain. Another opportunity for the young players to make an impact.
Substitution for Sydney FC. Number 16, Paolo Benani, replaced by number 4, Mitchell Madison.
Just in case you didn't hear, Mitchell Madison, the man coming off, rather coming on. Try that one again. Paolo Bonani, the man to make way. Thought he had a terrific evening, which again, when you're a centre-back and your side's conceded 4, might seem like a peculiar thing to say, just like we're seeing right now. Sydney have been trying to play football all night, more often than not. The passes have linked up. This time, Hershon will be the man into the book, sticking out an arm. The second Sutherland player to transgress this evening. Number 4, Mitchell Madison. We'll see how he gets on at centre-back. He's got Lopez in behind his back. Doesn't quite make it to him. Van Meuers seeing it all the way. Teague, as ever, keen to take it nice and quickly. Switch out to the left. Here is Madison. His first pass is good. Ball being played down the right. Lamberton finding himself in a wide position. Happy just to offload it. He's making his run. Lamberton. Ding ball. Can't get the line back across. Out for a goal kick. Madison is actually, I believe, moved out to a left-back position versus Lokalingoi. Massive mix-up. Lopez into Lokalingoi. Get back to that in a moment. Benet leaves it. Antonio, dig ball back. Lokalingoi tries the header. Acrobatic dive from Scarley. Didn't need it. Header going comfortably wide. Not a lot of pace in that ball. Lokalingoi trying to generate some at the cost of some accuracy. Here's your classic under pressure, take the goal kick again move. I wonder when that might be sorted out. We do always like to nail these positions. I believe Mitchell Madison's gone to left back. Van Meuers and potentially Skibilio now playing at centre back. Fletcher McFarlane at the right. Touch brings an opportunity for Sydney FC. Little toe punt at the end of it. Very comfortable for Bazanis. There was numbers to the left and to the right. Decided not to use them. Hershon under pressure. Nice and easy. Van Meuers strides out confidently. He wants it back. Lamberton wants to play it wide. Does well. Good footwork. Swivel. Bring it inside Bazanis. A little messy, but once again, job done. Geordie Swibble finally starting to see some of the football after barely getting it past to him in that first half. Van Meuers again comfortable. More than happy to step out from the back and continue his run. Dummy this time through the leg swivel. Only works if your teammates know it's coming. The earlier foul means that will come back. Everyone's favourite substitution will be made. Harry Sutherland on for Sutherland Sharks. Quentin Cheng making way. with just over 10 minutes of regular time remaining in this second half. That's Sutherland's 3 allotted subs used. Well in the air, by the way. Van der Sar. Ball down the left. Antonio. Trying to find Lopez in the middle. Van Meeuw's in the way. Sydney defending well. Opportunity for Swibble to take his man on. He rides the first challenge and keeps it in play. Well done, young man. Big booming ball across the face. Needed to be a little bigger. There's still time though. Lamberton has Teague in miles of space to his right hand side and just has not seen him. Potential counter-attack again for Sutherland. There's a man through to the left and Lokalingoi this time doesn't see him. Opportunities at each end. On either side, quite with enough footballing intelligence to know where the runs of their teammates are being made. Teague releases the ball down the line. It is across the face. Out of play for a throw-in. Believe that's young Fletcher McFarlane. Doing very well to get into the space, but no end product. Little lob back. Nieuwenhof showing the confidence he's displayed all evening. Again, spread right to the right back spot. Ball played inside Teague's first touch. That's again teammates just not expecting it perhaps. Yet another change of positioning. Scabilio moving further forward. He has been excellent on the football tonight. Unfortunately for McFarlane, he slipped over. The referee happy to wave play on. Was accidental. Ben Van Meeuw's plays it wide. May well receive it back now. This is Scabilio, who certainly seems to be venturing further forward. McFarlane looks to be playing as a centre-back. We'll work out who's at right-back shortly. There is space out there. Instead, the strike on goal. Right down the throat of Buzanis, coming in from Nieuwenhof. Maybe a rare moment where he needed to be slightly more composed is Lopez. One of the substitutes. Pass took a massive deflection. Unfortunately, just not seen. Skitadis can't go past his man. Urshan reading it well, and then Swibble dumps him onto the floor. A little trip and then a push. I don't know what he's pointing at. Another incident perhaps, but a clear yellow card. Mentioned earlier, those two having a little duel on a few occasions, a few shoves. Sutherland have no more substitutes they're able to make. If he's able to, Urshan will have to play on. Looks to be up and moving now. Swibble and Lamberton not ceasing with their pressure, but Polyak and Urshan able to play it out. Lokalingoi, as always, met by a few, so he plays it out wide. Sutherland down the line. looking for Lopez. Van Meurs doing well. Doesn't even concede. The goal kick goes out for a throw-in. Rear long ball only as far as Urshant, who in turn heads it straight back at Skibilio. Now Teague, who's not stopped running all night. Too much for him to do on that occasion. A late foot coming in. Case being pleaded by Skitardis, who will do well to avoid receiving a second caution. Katie Patterson showing him some kindness. Lovely footwork down the line. Mattinson, he's still going. Caller keeper ignored. Ball cleared away. Then Benet. Well, he's so comfortable on the ball. Raul Benet. Brilliant addition to our league. That time. Read by a few Sydney players. Lamberton wanted the touchback, couldn't find it. Good work by Mattinson again, who's showing some terrific endeavour. Full of running and confidence. Perhaps time for Sydney FC to find their way onto the scoreboard. Can they find the moment of quality at the end of what has been some good passing play? Instead, unfortunately, if you're a Sydney FC fan, we're all the way back for now. Fletcher McFarlane. And a bit of a needless turnover under limited pressure enables Lopez to burst away. Still going Lopez, and just didn't get his head up to find the angle for the pass. Antonio a little frustrated. Switch from Skibilio. Looks to be playing that holding midfield role. Hence there's a chance down the right-hand side. Lamberton off the knee. Still has it, Hamish Lamberton. Eventually the third Sutherland member coming over to defuse the danger. Harry van der Sarg down that right-hand side. Really doing his best to provide a passing option. Coming back short to receive it from the build-up and then making some lung-busting runs to get in behind. You can see the game plan for Sydney FC. Just a bit difficult to follow it all the way through. Lokalingoi can't quite get there. Good defending, tracking back a number of Sydney FC players, including Skibilio. Lamberton. Good touch to trap the ball. Second one taking it just wide, out of play. Will repeat my earlier point. Not a single Sydney FC player has looked out of their depth. All having their moments. Just yet to have that consistency. Match fitness, experience at this level. That will come with time. Sutherland Sharks pushing for their fifth. Out to Brody Clarkson. Raul Benet. Lopez has Sutherland on the overlap. Seems hesitant to play him. It's because he wants to take the strike. Whistling well wide of the near post. We'll have a restart from the goal kick for the third time this evening. No prizes for guessing my personal bugbear. the rules of football. We move on. Ershan under pressure again. Look at that for composure. Just turns inside out so he can pass down the left channel. Sutherland begging for it. Hasn't had a Sydney FC shirt near him for the last 5 minutes. Teammates just can't see him. There's a lovely switch to the left. Antonio versus Teague. Has a mate to help him out. And just shoved over Skibilio, who's clearly had enough this evening of Sutherland Sharks players running at him. This drops the shoulder. Finally, Sutherland with a chance to express himself. Return ball from Lopez, doesn't find him. Scully with Lokalingoi coming. Hits the target perfectly. Skibilio. Out to Van der Sarg. Teague with the overlapping run, ignored. And that really has been where it's broken down for Sydney FC.
Ladies and gentlemen, the fourth official has signified that there will be a minimum of 2 minutes.
Some lovely build-up, some patient build-up in their defensive midfield and wider areas. And when it's gotten to inside their box or close to, teammates just not able to find the combinations, able to break down the play. It's 2 minutes of stoppage time. Signalled by the third referee. Well done, Polyak. Now Sutherland, he's seen something on the left. It's Raul Benet bursting into space. Benet had a lot to do, to be fair. All his teammates bursting forward into the box, wanting to be on the end of a cross. Now Lamberton looking for the same thing at the other end. Ershan, as he's done all evening, reading it best. Sutherland, clever little pause before he goes on this right-hand side. Beautiful little cameo from the number 19. This is Lopez, gets it on his right foot, straight down the throat of Scully. Lopez clearly eager to impress, maybe just overplaying it on 1 or 2 occasions. Maybe one last chance for Sydney FC. Hamish Lamberton trying to keep it in play, unable to do so. Lamberton hitting the deck a little hard. Good to see O'Shea helping him out. Katie Patterson blows full time here at Lambert Park. Sydney FC with some chances early in the first half, but really it was a professional performance from the Sutherland Sharks. An early double for Jeremy Cox, matched by a double from Charles Lokalingoi. Sydney FC with some valuable experience, but it's Sutherland Sharks with the crucial 3 points. My name's Nate Patrick, and we thank you for joining us as it finishes Sydney FC 0, Sutherland Sharks 4.
New South Wales, Ultra Football, Puma, and the official ball sponsors the 2019 NPL New South Wales men's competitions. Their support to football is invaluable and much appreciated. We hope you've enjoyed this evening's match and thank you for your participation and support of the National Premier League. Please take care exiting from Lambert Park, and remember stadium staff are here to help should you require any assistance. Good evening.